we opened up our Hammonton location. And, you know, in what is perceived as troubling economic times, here we are growing. And I think that has to do with us at the core of what we do, wanting to do the right thing for the community and wanting and believing in what we do, believing in the martial arts and believing in what it can do for people. And you know, we live it, we breathe it, we eat it. It is our daytime and our nighttime job. So, you know, it's exciting to see that. We hope to see the Hammonton School explode in the coming years. And we know this is going to be bigger, better, and crazier. Real quick, last, I want to thank my mom and dad for being here today. I always find it important to thank them because, well, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So they've always been my biggest supporters in the martial arts, and they've always helped me with as many things as you can imagine. You know, it's really important to me that, you know, I know you mom and dads out there who are supporting your children in the martial arts. I can assure you I got my swift foot in the rear end when I needed to get into class. And I can tell you that by doing that, I ended up where I am in the martial arts. So if you need a foot, I'll lend you mine. And it's important that, remember, sometimes our kids don't always make the right choices. That's where we come in. Sometimes they want to be lazy, just like us. And we have to help them through those troubling times like my parents helped me through mine. And boy, am I ever so thankful that I've had that. So, thank you, Mom and Dad. One more thing. It's Grandmaster MacKenzie's birthday!
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear MacKenzie. Happy birthday to you.
We already had one fire today. We didn't want to light all the candles,
One of the great things about our martial art program is that there really is a partnership between the instructors and the parents in building these great kids. And I know as a parent that sometimes we need other positive resources to help match and reinforce what we're hoping to provide for our own kids. So it's an opportunity that I don't take lightly, and I know that Grandmaster Yates doesn't take lightly. And I met the Yateses almost 30 years ago, I think maybe 1985. And Master Yates was already a student. Back then he wasn't Master Yates, he was Scotty. Scotty Karate, that's right. Yeah, and Grasshopper.
I go back that far.
But you know, when Master Yates was young, sometimes he used to be a little bit of a rascal. He would get in trouble, and this Mr. Yates would say, "Hey, what can you do?" And I'd say, "Hey, get the gloves on. We're going to talk about it." And we talked about it, right?
I was smaller, he wasn't.
But you know, what a wonderful life it is. For me, there are some things that are important in life. If I could have two of my three kids come forward. My oldest is Dustin. Dustin's the boy. Hey, what is that? You didn't ask me about that. This is my daughter, Pumpkin Cat. And when I promised her I wouldn't say that, I was only kidding. This is actually Tabitha. Dustin just turned 21 last week. Tabby's going to be a senior in high school now at Hammonton, and she's the captain of the cross-country team there. So you come on out and cheer for her. And my middle one, Heidi, is working at a restaurant in Philadelphia tonight. She just finished up her first year at Philadelphia University. So for me, it's family first, and I know it is for a lot of you. And I have my blood family, which is actually a very small group. On my mother's side of the family, I'm the eldest surviving member. So there aren't many of us. And on the MacKenzie side, there are really just a few. So I'm lucky because I have a big family, all of you, and all of the students that aren't here as well. Our martial art family actually is that. And when you've been around as long as some of the students are, it really does seem more than just a student-teacher relationship. You know, teachers in school do a great job, and they get the kids for about 9 months, and then they don't get them anymore. Master Yates and I get to know the students sometimes for 10 years or more. I have students that are here. I mean, David Bricata, how long have you been with Master Yates? 14 years. 14 years. School teachers don't get that, but we do. And he's not the only one. There's some over there that I'm not seeing, but Mr. Trope and Mr. Weimer and others. So it's really quite an honor for us to have the chance to teach all of you. And after family, it's martial arts. I love the martial arts. I'm a businessman, and martial arts come first for me. Without quality martial arts, I can't be happy. And then after that, there are things like cool little British sports cars. I like those too. If you watch me squeezing in and out, don't laugh. Okay? But anyway, we had a really, really great black belt test back on, was it, Hope it was on May 18th or 19th? May 19th. Can you come forward, Hopeton? First, I'd like you all to see Hopeton's haircut. Hopeton was one of our 2 people that went from Chodan, which is half red, half black, candidate level, to actually becoming a black belt just last month. So the other young man is down in North Carolina visiting his family, but this is the newest member of our black belt family. And he'll be recognized again. Voorhees is having a little dessert party on Monday night. How many other people, how many other black belts were at that black belt test? If you could just come up here for a moment, quickly. Everybody count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This year we brought back a tradition of having our black belt test outside. And May 19th just happened to be the coldest, wettest day of the season. It rained and it was freezing. Everybody got muddy, grass stains. There have been a lot of geese walking around, I guess, the night prior. So some of these black belts, you might notice, still have some of that on their uniforms. It doesn't come out. Those are like battle scars. So I was so proud of the giant group of black belts that we had that continue to come back and work on getting better and better. Now, I want to talk about the test that Grandmaster Yates mentioned a moment ago. We've had the fortune of having the direct link to the top of the food chain in the Korean martial art of Hapkido. Hapkido is likely the most lethal of the martial arts. It's desired by military special forces all over the world. I've had the chance to teach people, special forces and folks like that, law enforcement in other countries, and it's interesting. They don't practice the patterns and that kind of stuff, just the ugly parts. But Hapkido is really, really something. And because we've had the chance to be so close to the patriarch of Hapkido, it's provided an experience and opportunity for Grandmaster Yates and I, unlike anything else. And years ago, back in 1996, I was still fighting a lot then, still competing. I was on the circuit, and I had been lucky enough to make a name for myself, and I had met Grandmaster Hwang. Grandmaster Hwang was one of the closest to the founder of Tae Kwon Do, the other martial art that we do. And his name was General Choi Hong Hi. And if any of you were ever in the military, General Choi Hong Hi was the only foreign general to ever actually lead American troops in combat. So he's in the history books for doing that. He's also the founder of Tae Kwon Do and was a great friend to America. Well, he died years ago, and his successor is Grandmaster Kwang Sung, or K.S. Hwang. And when I met him back in 1996, he was interested in having me test for my 5th dan in Tae Kwon Do. And I told him that I had to talk to my teacher, DoJuNim Ji about it, because I'm a very loyal person. Loyalty and respect are very important in the martial arts and in life, right? And I said to DoJuNim, I said, DoJuNim, I have the chance to test for my 5th dan. And he said, why do you need to do that? And I could tell by the look on his face that he didn't want me to. He didn't want to share his student. And I understand, because there are a lot of political games that can happen in the martial arts. So I had to respectfully decline a promotion, which doesn't happen, I guess, often. Well, Grandmaster Hwang didn't forget us. He called me, and as a result, Grandmaster Yates and I were able to travel to Phoenix, Arizona, shortly before General Choi died, and we had the chance to train with him. We actually trained with the General when he was visiting the United States, and it was a scary experience, but a great one that I remember as if I were still there, and it was 16 years ago. All of those years, Grandmaster Hwang has kept track of where we were and what we were doing. And last year, DoJuNim Ji said to me, MacKenzie, he said, you teaching Tae Kwon Do too? And I said, yes, sir. Of course he knows I am, but he wanted to make me say it. I said, yes, sir. Of course you know I do. I teach both martial arts, Tae Kwon Do and Hapkido. But in front of him, I would have said Hapkido and Tae Kwon Do. I'm not dumb. And he said, what's your rank? I'm trying not to use too much English. Sometimes that happens. And I said, 4th dan, how many years? I said, sir, over 20. Why? And I said, DoJuNim, because of you, sir. And he said, I know. He said, but if you have chance, you must. And I should have had a V8, right? I'm thinking to myself, really, after all this time? And you know, he likes to play games with me. He thinks of me as one of his sons. So coincidentally, there were a series of things that happened, and Grandmaster Hwang suggested that he test me for my rank, and that he wanted to test our finest black belts. And he gave me a date that was only 5 or 6 weeks forward. So I'll tell you what, we have never had to hustle like we have in the last month and a half to prepare. And when our guys were out there on that mat, I've never been prouder. It was absolutely world class. And who was there? Raise your hand. It was unbelievable. At one point during the test, Grandmaster Hwang went like this and just started clapping his hand. And he looked over at me and he just couldn't believe it. He said that what the power, the intensity, the respect, everything that our people had, the self-discipline, is apparently very, very rare in the martial art world. You can imagine how I felt. What a wonderful moment that I will take with me forever. And those that were there know. And it won't be the last chance. But it was a big, big opportunity. And I just wanted to share that story with you because my journey in the martial arts is a lifelong journey. My first experiences in martial arts were in 1968 at the East Side Randsburg YMCA outside of Indianapolis, where my mother worked. And I had the chance to bug the judo club until they finally let me at age 4 come out and learn a few things. And they would let me grab them and let me flip them. They would flip themselves and I felt good about it. But I fell in love with it and I've never stopped. And I hope that all of you get to enjoy the kind of life that I have as a martial artist. It's not something that we do for a year or two. It's something that we actually become, and it can be a big part of who we are. Like I'm a dad, that's not for a day, is it? That's for a lifetime. I'm a martial artist. That's not for a day, that's for a lifetime. And I like the little sports cars too. So thank you for saying happy birthday. But thank you very much for being a part of our martial arts school I'm so proud of what the ATCO school has become, and I am very excited to now have our presence strong in Hammonton as well. This is a great town, and I have to tell you, I didn't know much about it until our Waterford kids, my kids, our school left the Edgewood, the Lower Camden County School District, and joined up with Hammonton. They built the new high school, and I came down here and I actually got off of the White Horse Pike and realized that there was more to the town than I thought. And I fell in love with the town at that time. And I said to Master Yates back then, someday we will have a school in Hammonton. The recession held us back a little bit, but we're here to stay, and I'm hoping that we have a whole lot of future black belts right here. Do we? So I'm going to stop talking, if you can believe that. But I'd like to see a show of hands. How many future black belts do we have in this group right now? How many future black belts? I want to see. Okay, let's hear it for the next generation.